pretty good. Let's get into it. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I go to a workout class, which is a rebel workout class, every single morning, and I sweat my rear end off. I mean, my hair is soaking wet, but my face, it looks perfect afterwards. And then I go to work, and then I pick up my kid, and then we go to some after school activity, and I come home and I maybe have a few cracks around the nose, maybe, and my makeup still looks flawless. I expect my makeup to work all day long, not just for an hour. So I'm teaching you which foundations to choose and why. All three of those offered a very good finish. Looks like the L'Oreal one, nope, it definitely did. And I like full coverage because of my hyperpigmentation. Now, not everybody's the same. If you don't want full coverage, I recommend e.l.f. Halo Glow, which is a filter. It's a primer. You put the primer on, and I like to mix it. So I only do a few dabs of the primer because it adds a luminous reflection. So when you're sweaty and stuff like that, instead of getting cakey or looking like you're wearing foundation, and I always mix it with the L'Oreal, instead of looking cakey, it reflects the light out and it makes me look younger, and I really like how it looks after I work out and after a really long day. Plus, it doesn't get on my clothes. So have you ever, worn a long sleeve shirt, wiped your, waved to somebody, and then you're like, oh my gosh, my face is on my shirt. It's happened to me a lot. Not with this set that I'm doing on this side. I love the L'Oreal. It is a all-time favorite, but it's not as coveraged as this side is. However, for my girls that have pores, remember, you have to use a primer, a putty primer. So you could do a luminous putty primer, which means it's going to be a yellow base. You could do the poreless one, which is going to be white, and it's going to fill your pores. You want to always fill your pores, and then you put on your foundation. So after you do both sides of foundation, both are great. Remember, if you're sticking with luminous foundation, which means it does not dry down, you need a cream contour stick. Because if you go in there with powder right away, it's going to pull your foundation, which you don't want. So cream, and then you beauty blend. And I don't mean smudge it, because then you're going to be taking off foundation. I want pouncing, just like this. And if it doesn't look right, just keep blending. Now, I do really like the dewy side. It's one of my favorites. However, I sweat a lot when I work out, and sweat under a really heavy, thick foundation makes me sweat more. And so I keep wanting to scratch my face, touch my face. In that event, I have to pat. So keep patting your face, and then it doesn't settle in your fine lines and pores. On this side, you could go in with a powder. You do not have to do a cream bronzer to contour, because it doesn't stick to your brush. It has a semi-matte finish. So there are many different types of foundation. I just recently bought this new one that is a cream total coverage foundation, but I feel like it added 10 years to my face, so I will never use it again. Sometimes with the cream foundations, they could get a little bit cakey. So you've got to make sure your base is good. And what do I mean by a good base? If you use sunscreen that gives moisture, it's like putting on a moisturizer. If you use a moisturizer, do not use a lot, because if you use a lot of moisturizer, all your makeup's going to slide around all day and it's never going to set in place. But if your face is dry and you haven't used any products on it, your makeup is going to crack. No matter how great the makeup is, no matter how expensive it is, it's going to crack, because you have to work on the base.